Alright guys, I'm back. Duty calls, you know. So, I came back and I did some work trying to move the fuel over to this side of the bowl. Now, I was successful in doing that, but I wasn't happy with the flow and I wasn't happy with the swirl. So, what did I do? I worked on moving the fuel this way. Notice how wide this is now. Right? This is much wider pattern on this side. We got a little bit of fuel on this side of the guide, but not as much. Don't show as much fuel on this edge. Much more fuel right here. By the time we get over here, you don't see it on the chamber anymore. Okay? Let's see how we did as far as the flows. Now this is not one cut away. This is several cuts away. And I had to figure out what was what in order to move that fuel. It's actually a combination of flow, swirl, and fuel on the chamber and in the cylinder. I'm trying to get the best of all three at one time. Trying to make a win-win-win. So let's see how I did. As far as flow, plus 0.2, plus 1, plus 0.9 I think that is, plus 0.6, plus 1.2, plus 1.6, plus 0.5, plus 0.6, plus 5.8, plus 9.9, plus 2.1. Okay, so we actually made it a little bit better everywhere. Notice how fat we are at 300. 219 is a really good number on a 2055 valve. Yeah, we started out as a 215cc port. The port has not been changed. I just did work to the short side radius. And that's it. That's what I'm working on right now as far as trying to move that fuel flow over. Now take a look at what happened with our swirl. Let me give you can take a look at this. And where did we leave off? You might as well, sorry guys, compare it to these swirl numbers. Don't worry about the other ones. Those are other cuts. Okay? These were pretty much higher all the way down. So those are the pluses and minuses I have here. Minus, plus, minus, 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 plus, minus. Now, some people are going to say, hey, you lost swirl along that whole thing. And then I'm going to say, yep, high RPM head. Do I necessarily want that much swirl? I don't. This is actually a really pretty good curve. See how it's got a big spike right here early on in the curve, and then it's mellow. It's just filling the cylinder, and it gives it a kick of swirl towards the end of the lift curve. I think that's going to give us a great mixture of fuel in the chamber. Okay? From there, I also went on and I put my radius on my exhaust, which wasn't there before. That was all I did, adding to that exhaust. Let's put the pluses and minuses in. Okay, added the pluses and minuses in. We've got plus 4, plus 5.4, plus 4.6, plus 3.3, plus 5, plus 4.9, plus 7.4, plus 9.3, plus 8.6. Now these are just the without the pipe numbers. Plus 7.6, plus 7. So we got a nice boost all along that curve just by adding my radius in there. Okay? Take a look at our flow on our roof. It's been all over the place really with certain changes, but we should probably compare them to these. 190, 160. All right, dropped a lot. Why? Short side radius is working better. From 215 to 195. Now, I did not change the height of the short side radius much. I changed where the apex was a little bit. But that's really where the changes come from. I also gave a little more area in certain spots. You can check our speeds. All right, we went up in the middle versus those, and we weren't up on the side. This wall stayed exactly the same, but this flows better everywhere, so we'll take it as a win. And as far as the exhaust, I think I'm almost done with the exhaust. I got a little more speed on this side of the port than this side of the port. I only took a few measurements because the garage was already getting hot. And I'm almost done with that exhaust, I think. Let's take a look. I almost forgot. Let's take a good look at this. Now, that is radically different than what we had before. And you can see the angle of the swirl we have, right? And take a look at how much area we have from one side of that fuel shear to the other side. It's really... We are getting plenty on this side still. Remember, I wanted to move the fuel onto this side, but like I said, it didn't flow as well, and my swirl was really not good. I am much happier with the fuel shear coming down this way in an angle, right, to swirl in the chamber, swirl in the cylinder, really. Now remember, I took this at probably 700 lift, which was 302.1 CFM. So that air is moving. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the way these are almost done here. Now, of course, I just have to do 7 more short side radiuses like that, and 7 more exhaust seats like that, and then get the seats evened up, and then these are pretty much ready to go. I do have to put a couple helicoils in for the valve cover, but that's no big deal. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. Have a good night.